we pack and prepare for our cruise. This is an 8-day cruise, but we're headed to the port location a day early just to make sure we avoid any flight delays and hiccups.
Yeah.
We're visiting St. Martin, Bonaire, Aruba, and Curacao. And we've had a few cruises under our belts, and I don't know if I can call us a pro yet, but we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
So with that said, we're going to give y'all 23 items that you should really consider packing as you are packing for your cruise.
Subscribe our video.
And if you're new to the channel, my name is Aisha, and this is my big girl, Mari. And welcome to the Bracorriah X Beauty YouTube channel, where we are a cosmetic company that provides quality cosmetic products, give information on starting and running a business, and we also here to provide empowerment to anyone in need. And we also travel a good bit. So each time we get ghosts, we taking y'all with us. Now, for my returning viewers, thank you for continuing to watch. Your support is truly appreciated. And please keep tuning in each and every Friday for a new video. Now, let's check out what we packing.
The first thing is clothes. With a family of 5, we usually pack only 2 suitcases. To maximize space, we roll up the clothes and then place them.
Yes, if you don't know the trick, everybody know that luggage is you paying per the suitcase you take. Nice little easy trick is to just roll your clothes up and it fits quite nicely and you get a lot more in the suitcase. And bring a sweater. Matters if you are, visiting a warm climate or not, make sure that you bring a sweater. Sometimes as you are cruising, the air gets a little bit cool. So make sure that you have a sweater. And most of the cruise ships that we've been on, they also have ice skating rinks. So you also want to make sure that you bring warm clothes. And some of the ice skating rinks will not allow you to ice skate if you don't have pants. So make sure that you bring a sweater. The other thing you want to bring is mask. Masks are still required on some cruise ships. And we usually recommend that you bring a combination of disposable mask because, when you're visiting those hot locations, sometimes these cloth masks get a little sticky. But then we also recommend you bring a few cloth masks as it just kind of helps to ensure you have a backup. And sometimes they have a little bit more of a barrier. So we usually bring a combination of cloth and disposable. And besides, if you run through all your disposable because they've gotten wet or they've ripped or what have you, we call these Old Faithful. You can keep washing them and wearing them. The next thing that you want to bring
is sanitizer. Bring sanitizer spray, wipes, or hand sanitizer.
So we recommend that you bring a combination. You always want to bring sanitizer. You need sanitizer. You're going to be out and about. You're going to be eating, and you need to have the ability to wash and sanitize your hands quickly. We also bring sanitizer wipes. Again, when you got kids, you can never have too much sanitizer and wipes. The other thing we bring along is sanitizer spray. When we get into our rooms, and we do this in hotels as well, before anybody touch anything, we go to sanitizing and spraying. And we usually will do a combination. We spray and we use these bleach disinfectant wipes to kind of wipe down those frequently touched areas, like the light switches and the telephones, the remote control, and the toilet seats and what have you. Make sure you have, and with COVID, You can never bring too many sanitizers. So make sure you bring those things. The other thing that you want to bring is a folder. You want to make sure that you have an organized way of keeping all your cruise documents, your hotel documents, your airline documents. It is, with travel these days, it's a lot that you have to carry with you and have. Make sure that you keep this folder with you. Put all your documents in it for everybody traveling with you guys. And that way, as you move through the port and the airport and all these other various areas, you can easily just open up your folder and hand them what they need. And most times we tell you to kind of put, you want to make sure that you have your passport accessible, your COVID vaccine cards, or your COVID test if you're required to have that. Your hotel information, that can go into your folder. If you choose to rent a car, that goes into your folder. Your airline tickets, your luggage tickets, put all that stuff in a folder so you can easily just provide it to the rep. And don't forget, do not check in your folder. This stuff stays with you. There have been several situations where people have checked in their folder and their documents, and trust me, you do not want to go into that. The other thing we usually recommend, and this is kind of top secret, not everybody know about this, but we letting y'all into our little secret. So, for all my brides out there who rocking 4 or 5 carats, such as moi, trust me, you do not want to wear your good jewelry out there when you cruising. I tell you, there are some places that look for people who have money. They look for people who have all sorts of flashiness. And trust me, you will get robbed. We have been into some sketchy situations and some of these islands that we've been to. So one of our little tricks that we now do after kind of a near miss situation is we bring fake jewelry. Now, I sometimes will still bring my wedding ring, but I only will wear it on the ship. But I bring fake jewelry. Now, if you can see that, this is, and sorry, my nails are not done. I'm in the process of getting them done. This is one of the fake rings that I bring with me. It's a decoy. So if you get robbed, hey, they ain't getting your good jewelry. Here is another ring that I usually will bring with me. Again, another decoy. Ladies, if you are in the 4 and 5 carat wedding ring club, do not bring your good jewelry to some of these remote islands. I don't mean to sound harsh or cruel or, I don't mean no harm. But like I say, we've had some very sketchy situations. And sometimes when you hit those little remote islands in which they live in pretty hard, they are looking for tourists to take advantage of. So that's another little trick that we usually use. Mari, tell them about the next thing the next little trick we utilize.
The next thing we bring is towel clips to hold towels onto a chair, because sometimes when you're on the deck and you're on the sun deck, it be windy and towels fly everywhere. So bring towel clips.
Yes, this is another nice little trick. The next thing that we make sure we bring is headphones. We are on the plane and, sometimes those kids, I'm not gonna lie, they just act like they ain't got no home training. So you then can put these little headphones on them and allow them to just zone off. So bring headphones. They are especially nice if you got a long plane trip. Bring your headphones. Don't forget them. Okay.
The next thing is chargers
Let's see
and more power strips. This allows us to plug in multiple electronic devices at one time.
Well, I had a power strip that I don't know where it went, but make sure you bring your power strips. They are a huge help. And I'll be honest, many of these cruise ships, they just don't have enough power strips. So bring them, especially if you know you're going to be using several phones, several laptops, and several electronic devices.
The next thing is sunscreen, glasses, and hats. Right here.
Bring them. Guys, especially if you are going to be visiting locations that are warm, sunny, you need sun protection. Make sure everybody in your party has a hat. Make sure everybody is utilizing that sunscreen. And we usually recommend an SPF of 50, or at least 50. Make sure that you got sunglasses. Protect your skin from, the sun. The next thing that we bring, and you guys know we are traveling with kids, medication. I cannot tell you enough. Make sure you got your medication. If you guys are anything like us, I guarantee you somebody always gets sick every single time we go. Anywhere, somebody always gets sick. And trust me, you do not want to be on the high seas without your appropriate medication. And we usually bring a variety. We've had moments where we've been on cruises and somebody spike a fever or get sick. Of course, pre-COVID days, where it wasn't that big of a deal. You could just run right to the little drugstore or the little general store and get something. But medication on the ship is expensive. Bring your medication. If you got any respiratory meds, bring your respiratory meds. We always bring probiotics. Probiotics is a really good something to bring. We bring probiotics for the adults and we bring probiotics for the kids. With all the new foods and things that you eat that your body is not used to digesting and you're not used to eating, trust me, it typically brings about a little bit of stomach upset. So just having these probiotics for everybody in your party, kids and adults, it will help keep your gut in control and just kind of help with that digestion. We also, speaking of gut, we also bring Pepto-Bismol. Again, if somebody get a sour stomach, at least we got something that can kind of help settle things down. We usually will bring Tylenol and ibuprofen just in case somebody have pain or a fever. And again, in the COVID world, things have changed. This, I will admit, this will be our first cruise since COVID. So if somebody spike a fever and a cough and some of these other ailments, our protocol obviously will look a little bit different just so, because we would have to rule out COVID. But we usually bring cough syrup. We bring allergy medicine. We bring Tums for indigestion. We usually bring anti-diarrhea and probiotics. We also bring motion sickness bands or the scopolamine patch. This is, if you guys can see this is one of the C bands or a motion sickness band. This is more for the younger kids. I'm not sold on them taking medication for motion sickness. The scopolamine, it's just not for kids in my opinion. So, and then the Dramamine, it makes everybody sleepy. So which our family usually don't have any issues with motion sickness, but I still bring a scopolamine patch as well as these C-bands anyway. The other thing, speaking of like medication, again, you never know when somebody's gonna get hurt. We also bring a little small miniature first aid kit. Mari, tell them about the next thing we usually bring.
The next thing is water shoes. They help you walk on the beach without hurting your feet on the rocks and help you clean your feet a little bit.
Yes, now we've had to buy some new water shoes, but we've had several cruises where we didn't have water shoes. I tell you, some of those beaches get a little rocky. They got a lot of seaweed on them, the sand. Water shoes are a must-have. They keep your feet clean so you're not fighting that sand once you're done. Make sure you get the water shoes. Not to mention, if you're actually in the water, you still can wear your water shoes. And it also combats like the seashells and the rocks that you may step on. The other thing that you want to consider bringing, speaking of shoes, we always bring shower shoes. Now, I know they clean those showers, but it still is like a cleanliness thing. So we usually will bring shower shoes. So we're not having to step in the bottom of, the shower with our feet. I've seen situations where people have gotten funguses and all sorts of stuff stepping in bathtubs that just haven't really been cleaned. So don't forget your shower shoes. Another little secret we dropping. Alrighty, tell them about the next thing, Mari.
Is dirty clothes hamper. It helps keep dirty clothes put away.
Y'all hear me when I say, like I said, it's 5 of us. Cabins usually are not that big. I mean, we're moving into a suite at this point, but which will give us more space. And check out our subsequent videos. We giving y'all a little taste of what the suite life is. But bring yourself a dirty clothes hamper. It's just a way to keep your clean clothes separated from your dirty clothes. And it just kind of keeps things organized. When you go on a cruise, space is limited. So as much as possible, you want to keep things organized. And besides, you don't want your dirty clothes giving your clean clothes a stench or dirtiness. I got 3 kiddos, and especially if you got a toddler that is still kind of working on that whole potty training thing, they pee on themselves and whatnot, make sure you bring yourself a dirty clothes hamper. Because I don't care how much you try to wash them clothes out, they still got a little pissy smell to them. So bring yourself a hamper. The other thing that this is another little trick we drop into y'all. Bring some water bottles. And we usually recommend that you bring an insulated water bottle. So you can bring water on the ship, but you can't bring that much water. And, especially when we're visiting those warmer climates and, those warmer islands, you want to stay hydrated, but you don't want to have to keep buying all that water and pop and stuff while you're out. So what we do is we take these water bottles, we pack them in our luggage, and on sea days where we're getting ready to, exit the ship, we go down to like the Sorrentos or, we go to the dining room, we get cups of water or, water is usually best, and we fill these with water. So when we get off the ship and we enjoy our sea day, we have insulated cold water and the water stays warm, cold the whole time we're out. Get yourself a few of these insulated water bottles. I tell you, it's a great way to stay hydrated. And again, if you can fill them up with the ship water, ice water, you in business. You are in business. The other thing you want to make sure you bring is a beach bag or a port day bag. If you got kids or even if you don't have kids, there are certain essentials that you want to bring with you. Make sure you have a beach bag for your towels and your water bottles and all the other things that you may or may not need while you're out. Tell them the next thing.
The next thing is air freshener. Too many smells in such a close quarter space, so bringing fresh air freshener helps keep the cabin fresh.
Y'all, once again, it is 5 of us. Make sure, like, everybody got their own smell. People be passing gas. People go in for a number 2. They do the do. Bring air freshener. Like, you take a shower every day, but it's something about the close quarters and that stench. You want to make sure you keep your room fresh. Bring air freshener. The other thing, and we are almost done, and I hope these tips that we're giving, we hope they are helpful to somebody out there. The next thing you want to bring is a night light. You want to have the ability to move around your cabin without any injuries, especially when it's dark. And guess what? Like I said before, if you traveling with a toddler and they still working on that potty training thing, hey, a nightlight will help them get up and go to the bathroom at night. You don't want nobody peeing in the bed, so bring yourself a nightlight.
The next thing is bug spray. Keep the bugs off of you. Bugs are so disgusting and so nasty. You just don't want them around you because they ruin your entire day. So bring bug spray.
Yeah, like she said, we don't do bugs. Bring you some spray. The next thing that we bring with us is a lightweight stroller. Now, I have had some situations, and I'll be honest, our stroller is a little bit dusty. It has been packed away, and it still needs to be cleaned off. But bring yourself a lightweight stroller. Sometimes some kids get out to the port days, and they don't want to walk. Or you do so much walking, you get tired. Make sure you bring a lightweight stroller. We have had days where we brought the big, husky, full-blown stroller. Trust me, for mobility reasons, you want a little bitty stroller that you can maneuver in and out of crowds and load onto the bus, load off. So don't forget your stroller. The next thing, you want to tell them about the next thing?
Lanyards! Helps keep up with your CPass.
Bring a lanyard. There are so many moments where you are getting on and off the ship, and now that we have COVID and during the pandemic, there are going to be areas where you need to be vaccinated and you need to show your CPass card so many times. Just keep it around your neck. And, usually, so as our kids were really young, 7 months and what have you, we keep their CPass cards as well. We just double up. But as they get older, now that they're a little bit older, we are allowing them to keep their own CPass card. But the lanyards just help. I mean, they really help keep your CPass organized or present. And not lost.
Yes.
The other thing you want to bring is cash. Not every island and not every location will accept your Visa card or your credit card. Make sure that you bring cash. The other piece to that is you want to have the ability to tip, your drivers and your waiters and bring some cash so you can tip people. I mean, it's been a while since some of the islanders have had cruisers or tourists. So they appreciate and need that tip money. So bring cash. And you don't want to be put in a situation where you're attempting to make a purchase and you don't have any cash and you got to be running around trying to find an ATM. You know, because we've seen situations where the ATM has given us like foreign dollars. We've seen situations where we couldn't even understand the ATM. Make sure you bring cash. The other thing you want to bring is a dry bag. You know, when you're on those beach days and if everybody want to get in the water, you no longer have to have somebody watching everybody's stuff on the sea bank, you know, or the beach bank. So bring yourself a dry bag. That just allows you to put your wallet, your money, your phone, all in a little bag. And that bag can go into the water with you. You know, so you still can hold those personal items while you're in the water and they won't get damaged or anything.
Now, the last thing is blankets for the plane and pillows for the plane because
you're traveling with kids. And if you're like us, we usually have at least a 4-hour flight to get to our port. So it's nice to have the ability to, you know, catch up on your Z's when you're on the plane. And sometimes the plane can be a little bit cooler. So definitely make sure you bring a blanket and a pillow. Well, that wraps up our list of things that you want to make sure you bring. We hope these were some helpful tips for you guys. Thank you for tuning in. We encourage you to keep tuning in. We are going to be vlogging the whole trip. And like I said before, we are going to give you guys a little taste of the sweet life. We're going to show you priority boarding. We're going to show you the suite lounge. We have cruised on, you know, Royal Caribbean pretty much. We have not, that's probably our sole cruise line that we travel with. And we've been on the Oasis class. We've been on the Freedom class, the Voyager class. We just absolutely love cruising and we love traveling. So tune in for those vlogs and keep, you know, if you enjoyed our content, subscribe so you get notified when we release those videos, and check out the rest of the content that we offer. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great day, YouTube.
bye.